If everybody could please stand and wait for the Pledge of Allegiance of the prayer and then the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this gracious day. We thank you for all. I thank you for all that you are and all that you do on a daily basis for those of us on this council, as well as all of those of us here in Talbot County. We thank you for your blessings. We thank you for your love. We thank you for your provision. We thank you for ultimately your guidance and how you see your direction for Talbot County. I pray that you give us the strength to make sure we follow that will and follow your direction. We ask all of these things in our Son's most precious and holy name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, just want to welcome everybody. Appreciate everybody coming here tonight, and we'll go ahead and get started on the agenda. Council's had time to look at the agenda. Is there any additions, deletions, or correction to the agenda?
Mr. Council President, if I may
Yes.
make an agenda item, please.
Yes, sure.
I'd like to add under County Manager's report, for unofficially known as Clay stuff, to add a letter of support for Trapp Volunteer Fire Department for congressionally directed spending for assistance with the building of a new firehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And change order.
Okay, do we have a motion? We got a motion?
Motion.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Got a second?
I'll second, and then I'll,
Yeah.
Dave made the motion.
right.
Okay,
Second, then.
okay, I'm sorry. Okay, we got a motion second. Madam Secretary, could you call the vote?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. Stepp?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Ms. Milky?
Aye.
Ms. Haith?
Aye.
And Mr. Callahan, I've
Yes.
got one other item to add to the agenda,
Sure.
which is also under County Manager Report for a change order for the public safety building at Mary's Court. Oh, we're holding off on that? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You were holding off to the. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all right, no problem. Okay.
Withdraw my motion.
Okay, no problem. Okay, next on the agenda is the minutes of February 13th. The council has had a chance to take a look at the minutes. Is there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes, council? Okay, hearing none, the chair moves that the minutes be accepted as unanimous consent. Next is the disbursements of March 15th and March 12th before us. I've had a chance to take a look at that. So is there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the disbursements, council? Okay, hearing none, the chair moves that the disbursements be accepted as unanimous consent. Okay, all right, first up tonight, there's a special man up here tonight. Come on up, Cadet Philip, is it Horner?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm outstanding, sir. How are you?
Good, good, good. So, Madam Secretary, could you go ahead and please read the recognition into the record, please?
Certificate of recognition. The certificate is awarded to Philip Horner in recognition of your having received the Civil Air Patrol Cadet Brigadier General Billy Mitchell Award for sustained excellence in the areas of leadership, aerospace, fitness, and character, and your promotion from Cadet Chief Master Sergeant to Cadet Second Lieutenant. County Council of Talbot County, March 12th, 2024.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion second to approve the certificate as presented for the Madam Secretary. Could you call the vote?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. Stepp?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Ms. Milky?
Aye.
Ms. Haith?
Aye.
Okay, we want to welcome you guys.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
If you may give us a moment, I just wanted to
Sure.
tell you a little bit about this wonderful young man. As the council had mentioned, the Billy Mitchell is a very significant award here in our program in the Civil Air Patrol. General Billy Mitchell is considered the father of the modern Air Force, and he was such a visionary that his passion pretty much also led him to sacrifice his career in trying to forward air power in the United States. So we use that as a milestone for young cadets in their promotion in our program. So young Philip Horner over here, he's promoted to a second lieutenant in our Civil Air Patrol Cadet program. During his encampment, one of his achievements was he was named the Honor Cadet for that encampment. This was one of the summer encampments last year, wasn't it?
Yes, it was the 2023 Tri-Wing Maryland encampment, sir.
Perfect. And so he's been with us since September of 2021. We've also brought his wonderful parents, Tyler Horner, who is a former cadet in Easton Composite
Nice.
Squadron many years
Right.
ago, and his mom, Ray Horner, who works for Talbot County Public Schools. And
Great.
we just
Great.
wanted to thank you for this recognition, because it really means a lot to us that we have a good dialogue with the county. We have been here since the early 50s as an organization, and we continue to promote aerospace education and the development of young leaders. And we also have an emergency services program for the adult members of our community.
Well, that's great. That's great. You want to say a few words?
Surprise!
It was a surprise. I'd like to say thank you
Yeah.
all for inviting us out here
Uh-huh.
for this evening, and I would also like to, well, thank my Colonel De Jesus for inviting me over here as well. I couldn't have done anything without him being here as our unit commander, and yeah, I guess that'll be it.
That's fine. That's good. Good job. Councilman?
No, number one, congratulations on your award, first and foremost. It's been a privilege to, since being in this role, to get to come on out to several of y'all's your promotion and advancement ceremonies out to St. Peter and Paul School. It's been really cool to see, our youth in our community here, and all the great things you guys are doing, and Colonel contribute or just you're doing a wonderful job with all these young men and women.
Thanks,
so
sir.
great job.
Vice President?
I'll offer my congratulations also, and it is heartwarming to see the achievement and leadership recognized in the next generation. Look forward to your further service to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Fabulous accomplishment. Congratulate you on having the courage and the desire to do what you would be doing. It's truly appreciated by this country.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I'll echo my colleagues. Congratulations on your efforts and your hard work. And it's just great to have you here today. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yep, and I want to say the same things with my colleagues. We're very, very proud of you. You're an inspiration to the young youth, that's for sure. And, we're, like I say, for Talbot County in here, what you're doing in spreading the love of what can happen in serving our country, and, that's special. And the parents, too. Thank you, guys, for coming here and having a special son here, It's a proud moment. So, congratulations, all of you. And I appreciate you being here tonight, too, Colonel.
Thank you.
That's for
Thank
sure.
you.
So we have something for you if you
I
want
was
to come
gonna
on
say,
up.
Can we indulge you guys in a
Yes.
photo or something?
Yeah, come on up. We got something for you.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, it's all about him. It's not about me.
I'll email it to you later. We can do one with all you guys and then one with. Sorry.
Sorry, Mr. Lesher.
You're not the first.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. Very good. All right. And one for the Star Democrat. 1, 2, and 3. Y'all look great.
Okay.
One family.
Now let's get one now, guys. Are you guys this council, or are you guys gonna stand behind? Dave, you can go back up to the top. ready? Much better, got it. Great. Y'all look great.
Okay, that was great. We need more young men like that and women, that's for sure. Okay, next on the list is the update from Breezeline. You guys want to come on up? Ladies, yes.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Tami Allen. I am here representing Breezeline. I'm actually new to my role, only 4 months in, so please be kind. So I have some pamphlets here. I'll leave them here for everyone to take at the conclusion of the meeting, as well as my business card. So if there's any issues or concerns, you guys have a personal concierge. Thank you. And you can feel free to give me a call, and I'll get, oh, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, he gets nervous.
So that's just a couple of highlights of our presence in the Maryland market. So a couple of things we have going on here. So one good thing about the Talbot County is that we've actually had a 10% reduction in trouble calls, which is a result of a lot of plant work we've been doing in the system. So we have, really proactive programs going on, like power supply replacements, proactively replacing like older drops in the neighborhood, building out more fiber to the homes, equipment upgrades. We're also offering a couple of different options of payment in the system as well. So since COVID, as we know, things were a little hard, and we had to, make some shifts in how we operate and do business. So we're offering alternative ways to pay through Western Union. You can pay at any location that accepts Western Union, like our Walmarts, our Walgreens, and some of the grocery stores. You can pay over the phone, and we now have a pay online option, okay? We are offering our drop ship program, so you can easily return or get equipment. So that's being offered through our UPS program, and we're about to roll out a partnership with the United States Postal Service as well. So if you need a remote, you don't have to go into an office anymore, save your gas. We will actually ship that to you for free. So those options are available as well. Last year alone, we provided internet access to 1,250 low and moderate income families in Maryland. We also donated over $500,000 to the community events and donated courtesy services as well, which valued, again, over $500,000. We are progressively reducing our carbon footprint, and we're rolling out electric vehicles this year across the company. If I didn't mention this earlier, I actually am the regional operations director for all of Mid-Atlantic. So my territory is not only Maryland, but it's Aiken, South Carolina, Delaware, and Virginia as well. So those are some of the highlights, but I'm here to be a support to you guys and listen to community concerns, take those back, and proactively share those with leadership so that we can address those and make sure that we are providing the best customer experience that we can. I will tell you that I came from a competitor that's not in this market, and one of the biggest things that stands out to me with Breezeline is the family engagement of the customer experience that I have never seen in any other company, and I came from a big cable provider. So with that being said, those are really all my updates that I had to share. I wanted to open it up to see if there were any questions, concerns, feedback that I can take back to my leadership.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, well, thank you again for coming in and welcome aboard, especially in your new role. The only thing that I would say is just we heard from a few constituents about BOC being removed from the lineup. That was the only thing if I could add to your list to see if inquire if that's possible to bring back. I know some folks really relied on that as a local news source as opposed to across the bridge news.
Okay.
So that was one that some folks would like addressed if possible.
You got it.
You know, to be clear, the Breezeline does elicit a number of constituent complaints that reach my ears for gaps in service. You know that we have more and more folks who work from home. This is not merely entertainment. This is not merely a luxury. You're an essential service provider, and wondering if what Breezeline's plans are to reduce those service outages, to compensate customers for the losses that they experience as a consequence of service outages.
Yeah, so one of the things that that network strengthening that we're doing it strategically across the county. One program that we did do already is called the 5 to 85 mid-split, right? So what that does is kind of attacks the node, splits it so it opens up more bandwidth. When it opens up more bandwidth, then it creates more reliable services. Obviously, we can't do that in one big swoop. It has to be strategically staged because there's a huge cost associated with it. It has been done in a few nodes in this county so far, and there's work spanned over the next 3 years to continue those upgrades. So that's some of the work that's being done to address some of those, outages and unreliability. As far as, like credits and all of that, it becomes a one-off, right? So when customers are experiencing those things, we tell them to proactively call into our call center, and our call center will kind of try to diagnose what the issue is, if it's something internal in the house or it's something that is truly a part of the plant. There are programs available to provide credits. I can't individually and personally, commit to a credit at each outage, but they're addressed on a one-off basis. So, yeah.
But for those experiencing service difficulties, what is the best way to get a live customer service representative?
Yeah, you want to call into the Breezeline. You can actually do it two ways, because you can go through the app where we allow a live chat to occur, or you can actually call into the Breezeline 1-800 number. Either one of those forums, you'll be able to get a live person. Yeah.
And what is your commitment to improving customer service records in Talbot County?
When you say customer service records, what exactly do you mean?
Well, the complaints about service outages, the difficulty in reaching a live customer service representative when they are experiencing difficulties.
Yeah. So I would say, anytime that you're experiencing issues like that, you now have a personal, person that's an advocate that's in the system that you can reach out to, and I will escalate those issues. So our office is not a customer service center, but we operate in the same way. Any person that walks around with a Breezeline badge or representation of the company, we're going to address those issues. So now you have a personal representative in the area and the footprint that can help you get to those resolutions a lot quicker. So I would say you can certainly pass my information along. You can actually post my information. That's why I'm here. And they can get to me directly, and I can help to escalate those issues for sure.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
I know that Breezeline's franchise agreement with Talbot County still has a few more years to run, and I look forward to working with you to improve the record before we get to that point.
Yeah, you're welcome. Absolutely.
Okay.
Looking forward to working with you guys as well.
Mm-hmm.
No questions?
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't have any questions. I think Dave covered my concern regarding WBOC, because that is the, CBS local provider here on the Eastern Shore. A lot of
Yeah.
people like to have that local WBOC news versus WJZ and the other channels on the Western Shore. So if we could just get some type of response back to us,
got
maybe
it.
through Clay, whether or not that will be restored for our constituents, that would be great.
Do you guys recall when you last had that channel?
This is new news. This is just
Yeah.
weeks old.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got
It's
it.
not very-
This
not very
just
long.
happened, yeah.
Perfect. Yep, I will work on that and I will get back to you guys
Yeah, we had folks reaching out mid-February. So this
mid-February.
is,
Yeah.
I guess at that point it had already happened, hence why they're reaching out. So, fairly recently.
Perfect.
I understand they said that they considered Talbot County part of the Baltimore market, which,
Okay.
I think we're certainly more of a Salisbury market than a Baltimore market for sure.
Perfect.
The Baltimore affiliate does not cover Eastern Shore News very often.
They do not.
Right, and we're not, Talbot County's not even in the Baltimore MSA
Okay.
either as well, so.
All right, I will definitely do
Okay.
some research on that, and I'll
Yeah.
get back to you within the next 72 hours. I'm gonna make sure you have these cards here, so you can definitely pass those out.
Awesome, thank you.
I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you
Yep.
so much for inviting me in today. I appreciate you,
Yeah,
and
okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it,
for
Ms.
coming
Allen.
in, we
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Okay. Okay, next on the agenda is Delmarva Community Transit. You guys want to come on up? Good evening. Good evening. How you guys
Good evening,
doing?
ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
I'm Andrea Waters, the Transportation Grant Specialist with Delmarva Community Services. And with me tonight is my colleague, Henry Teets. He is the Transportation Operations Manager in the Upper Shore Counties, Talbot, Kent, and Caroline. We are here tonight to present our annual transportation plan for 2025. And I believe you've already received my executive summary, which outlines what we're asking for in this year's grant. So for the 5311, which is the public transportation in Kent, Talbot, and Caroline County, the federal and state share we're requesting from the federal and state is $568,955. The local share shared by Talbot, Kent, and Caroline County is $294,442 for a total of $863,397. The SSTAP is specialized transportation for seniors and disabled. The state and CARES portion of that, our request is $401,124. The local, which is shared by Talbot, Kent, and Caroline County, is $126,144 for a total of $527,268. The Americans with Disabilities Act funding is complimentary transportation to the fixed routes, which are only in Easton, which are our Route C and D. The total we're requesting from the state is $40,000. The local, which is for Talbot County only, is $4,444 for a total of $444,444. Capital that we are requesting in this year's grant is for preventative maintenance, which covers all the oil changes and tires and all kinds of stuff for the buses to keep them in safe operating order. Federal and state portion is $27,000, and the local share is shared by Talbot, Kent, and Caroline County is $3,000 for a total of $30,000. And we're requesting one bus replacement. The total cost of the bus is $113,149. The federal and state share is $101,834, and the local share is $11,315.
Okay, then, sounds good. Okay, there's a motion on the floor?
I'll move to approve the annual transportation plan.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. There's a motion second. Madam Secretary, could you call the vote?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. Stepp?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Ms. Milky?
Aye.
Ms. Hayes?
Aye.
Okay. That's good.
I just want to thank you for all the important service that you provide. You're so valued to the Talbot County community. The mobility on demand feature that you provide is really helping people continue to age in place in their homes, to get to essential medical appointments, to get to where they need to go when they don't have their own. You know all this. I just want to express our appreciation for the value that you bring to our constituents.
We greatly appreciate the support you give us on that, on that route.
Thank you, Mr. Lesher. Any other words?
No.
Any?
No,
Okay.
I just
Okay.
appreciate
Thank you for
you
what you
guys
do.
coming
Yep,
back
keep up the
in.
good work. Yep, exactly.
you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, yep. Okay, next on the agenda, introduction of a number resolution. Madam Secretary, could you go ahead and start on this one?
A resolution to amend the Talbot County Comprehensive Water and Sewer Plan to reclassify and remap certain real properties located at Blueberry Acres Lane, tax map 32, parcel 171, 7634 Wales Lane, tax map 32, parcel 156, 7590 Wales Lane, tax map 32, parcel 163, and 7596 Wales Lane, St. Michael's, Maryland, tax map 32, parcel 179, from unprogrammed to S1, immediate priority status.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Ray, you want to come up, and Mr. Thomas, you want to say anything, or?
I'll defer to Mr. Clark.
Okay, all right. Good
Yes.
evening, Mr. Clark.
Good evening, Council. This, we actually received an application.
You want to tell people who you are?
Oh,
Yep,
I'm Ray
yep.
Clark, County Engineer.
Yep.
We received an application from a property owner and then ultimately worked with that property owner to also talk to his neighbors about bringing his neighbors into the sewer service area. This is right next to Blueberry Acres. We're in the process of trying to extend the sewer out to Blueberry Acres. So it was a unique opportunity for us to work with these property owners to get them hopefully into our sewer service area. So again, there, I believe most, if not all, the properties are improved. And we are working with another property owner on Blueberry Acres to provide an easement that would provide sewer service to these 4 properties. So that's all in the works at this point. But again, you know, this is what that's to bring in the 4 lots.
Okay, any questions?
So you won't have to run a separate pipe down Wales Lane to reach these?
We will be running it down, but it will be we won't be tying into the force main out along St. Michael's Road. I'll come off of Blueberry. The line will come off to Blueberry Acres. We'll then run a line to Wales Lane down an easement on one of the property owners we're working with that will get the sewer line to the Wales Lane
Was this prompted by a failing septic in the area?
We had an issue with one property owner, yes, sir.
Okay, and while you're solving that problem, you're simply extending it to the
And we were talking to
neighbors
the other
as well.
properties. And the property owner we were talking to knew the other property owners, and we thought it would be worthwhile to try to get them all in at this time.
And Mr. Clark, this may not be the question for you. I know that these are larger lots than typical on the more modest lots on Blueberry Acres. I take it these lots are not subdividable?
I would say that we go to the zoning side, but I would say at this point in time, there was no intention of subdividing. So, and we would be this is an allocation of 1 sewer tap per lot. Is nothing more than that. And that's how our public works agreement would be set up as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from council? Okay, at this time, just show of hands to introduce this. Okay. Madam Secretary, can you announce the
This will be known as resolution number 354, and the public hearing will be scheduled on Tuesday, April 9th at 6:30 p.m.
Okay, that sounds great. All right. The next one?
A resolution to amend the Talbot County Comprehensive Water and Sewer Plan to reclassify and remap certain real properties located at 6362 Bellevue Road, Royal Oak, Maryland, shown on tax map 40 as parcel 67, and the adjoining lot shown on tax map 40 as parcel 40, respectively, from unprogrammed to S1 immediate priority status.
Again, council, this
Yep.
is the property owner on Bellevue Road. We received her application. She does own 2 lots. One of the lots is improved, the other lot is unimproved. To my knowledge, I'm not aware of anything that's, let's say, wrong with the existing septic system on her property. That would be something we could check with environmental health on. As far as the second lot, I'm not aware, we don't know what they're proposing on this second lot. If they're looking to build another house at this point in time, I do not know. I just know that this is basically 2 lots on Bellevue Road, roughly about 4 lots down from where our sewer service area ends. We do have a force main that goes down Bellevue Road that goes to Bellevue, and it ties into the Royal Oak, number 2 pump station.
Okay. Any questions from council? Okay.
Parallel question, are these lots subdividable?
I would say, to go back and look at the lot size, I would say probably not, but I'll look at that real quick. One of them is 5.65 acres, and the other one's 3.46 acres, and I would probably indicate that they would have, I would say this, they're not in a village in any way, shape, or form, so they would be probably, a 5 lot, minimum 5 acre size, but I had to confirm that with the planning office.
And just kind of subject to 1 tap.
Yes, again, this, we were
Right.
only looking at 1 tap for 1
Right.
lot, so.
Okay, good. Okay, at this time, show of raise of hands to introduce this.
So like Callahan, Step and Heath.
Okay, Madam Secretary, could you give us the date?
This will be known as resolution number 355, and the public hearing will be on Tuesday, April 9th at 6:30 PM.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ray.
And
Appreciate it.
Ray,
Yep,
at that
go.
time, you'll bring us more information in regards to this?
Yes,
in
I will, for the council, we'll go ahead and contact environmental health and work and see if we have any more information on their septic systems and whatnot, so we'll provide that to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, next on the agenda is the introduction of legislation. Madam Secretary, could you go ahead and read the first bill, please, into the record?
A bill to award 8.348 acres of supplemental growth allocation to the town of Easton and to impose certain conditions, restrictions, and limitations on its use.
Okay. Mr. Thomas, Brendan, you want to come up, or you good? Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay, no problem.
So,
Yep.
yes, in 2002, Tom Coey and Lot 16 LLC submitted a request to the town of Easton for growth allocation to reclassify approximately 8 acres of real property at 28580 Mary's Court from resource conservation area to intensely developed area. The town has used up all of its available growth allocation under Table 7-3 in the zoning code. Therefore, the town needs to seek supplemental growth allocation from the county in order to approve the request. The county currently has 462 acres in supplemental growth allocation remaining to allocate to the towns for a supplemental request. The town and county planning commissions held a joint public hearing in September of 2022, after which time both planning commissions recommended that the respective legislative bodies approve the request. The county council and the town council had a joint public hearing in April of 2023. In January of 2024, the town council passed ordinance number 807 granting the request conditioned in part upon the county council awarding the supplemental growth allocation. So the request now comes before the council to consider whether to grant the supplemental growth allocation. And that will involve having a hearing and the council making certain findings as required under the zoning code. Mr. Tarleton is here. He may be able to provide some more context. I don't know if Brendan I don't see Mr. Mulaney on behalf of Mr. Coey here. He's their attorney.
Okay. Yep.
I think
Yeah.
Patrick summarized it very well. For
Yeah,
you.
good.
Brendan Tarleton with the Department of Planning and Zoning. Patrick described that very well for you. If you have any questions, I'm just here to assist with those.
Okay, that's good. So at this stage, once again, we're just showing a raise of hands if we want to introduce this.
Just
Go ahead.
one quick question. I know that this land is already annexed into the town of Easton. It's already zoned industrial or commercial.
I think the property owner is planning on going through a rezoning with the town of Easton for the classification of the property. I don't know that it's zoned specifically for the use for which they would like to use it for. However, it is the last remaining lot within the business park there that has not been developed. Currently, it exists today as a vacant lot with an additional stormwater retention feature on it that's to be redesigned to accommodate an additional building facility on site.
And am I remembering that the cause of this request for a growth allocation has to do with the remapping of the critical area with sea level rise and it coming into this property where it did not formerly, and hence the need for growth allocation if it is to be
Yes, that's
developed?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay, at this time, we'll show a raise of hands if we want to introduce this.
So like Callahan, Step,
Okay.
Lesher, and Heath.
Okay.
This will be known as Bill number 1551, and the public hearing will be held on Tuesday, April 9th at 6:30 PM.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. Okay, want to go ahead and read the next one?
A bill to amend Chapter 11 of the Talbot County Code, alcoholic beverages, for the purpose of generally exempting Thompson Park, located in the town of Easton, from the 500-foot public park setback requirement for new off-sale licenses.
Okay, Mr. Thomas? Yep. Bless you. Yep.
Yes, under the, so this bill was requested by Zach Smith on behalf of Blue Point Hospitality. Under the county's current alcoholic beverages code, new off-sale alcoholic beverage licensed establishments must be located at least 500 feet from schools, correctional facilities, and parks. The only exception is for Thompson Park in Easton, and that is only for a Class I alcohol dispensary bistro, such as the Ward Room. So the bill would delete the reference to a Class I alcohol dispensary bistro, and it would allow any off-sale establishment within 500 feet of Thompson Park, not just the existing one. So I believe Mr. Smith is here, and he may wish to provide additional details regarding his client's request.
Yes, Mr. Smith, if you don't mind coming up, that'd be great.
Sure. Good evening.
Yep, good evening.
Thank you, President Callahan. So
Yeah.
Zach Smith on behalf of Blue Point Hospitality. And as Mr. Thomas said, Chapter 11 of the county code has this setback for alcohol dispensaries and alcohol dispensary bistros from certain land uses, which include parks, schools, and correctional facilities. There is an exception, as Mr. Thomas said, to that rule for alcohol dispensary bistros from Thompson Park specifically. But that only applies to alcohol dispensary bistros, not to alcohol dispensaries. And the purpose of this bill would be to broaden that exception to exempt both of those classes of licenses from Thompson Park. Not to exempt them from the setback for any other park or any school or correctional facility, but just for Thompson Park. And I think the reason that the council created that exception is a recognition that because downtown Easton is relatively compact, most of downtown Easton's central core, commercial core, is within 500 feet of Thompson Park, and it seemingly puts downtown at a competitive disadvantage from other commercial areas. So I think that was the reason for the creation of the exception. The town of Easton supported that exception and asked the council to make it. I don't have a letter from the town this evening, but I have talked to the town about this, and I believe before we get to the public hearing, there will be a similar letter of support from the town of Easton to the county council supporting the change.
Okay.
And just to explain, our reason for asking for it, Blue Point Hospitality owns the Ward Room. As I've explained to the council before, the Ward Room has two operations, a market and a restaurant. And fortunately, both of those are doing well, but frankly, both need a little more space. And so the solution that we'd like to implement is to separate the two operations, to relocate the market to another downtown spot, and then to expand the restaurant into the space vacated by the market. Blue Point controls other properties in downtown. I think the one they're specifically thinking of for the market would be the former Harrison's Flowers space, which is currently a vacant storefront on one of Easton's most prominent streets. And so if this amendment is adopted, the plan would be to renovate that space, to relocate the market there, to put that user in that space, and then to expand the restaurant into the space vacated by the market. The only issue with that solution is that once the two components are separated, once the market and the restaurant no longer operate together, it ceases being an alcohol dispensary bistro, is classified as alcohol dispensary, therefore it's not exempt from the setback. So that's the reason for the request.
I see. Okay, good.
And so, Mr. Smith, currently we've made the exemption that allows for on-site consumption. This would say now you can have a liquor store or wine store, carry home alcohol in that zone in downtown Easton, if that would be an appropriate use.
Correct. So the Wardroom currently does that. They sell wine and other spirits for off-site consumption under their bistro license, but again, without the restaurant component, it's not classified as a bistro and would be an alcohol dispensary. So the intent is to operate the same way and to sell a host of products, including wine and other spirits, but because of that, it would be classified as an alcohol dispensary.
So, but this would then allow not just one or even two classes of alcohol license in that downtown area, but any of the classes.
It would exempt any of the classes from the setback from
Thompson Park.
Correct. Which currently the only classes of licenses that are required to be set back from Thompson Park, well, the only class is the alcohol dispensary. So that would be the only change, because there's no setback requirement for a restaurant, for example.
It's only off-sale licenses.
Only
New
off-sale
off-sale
licenses.
And just for what it's worth, the town of Easton recently addressed a similar issue and removed a 1,000-foot setback requirement from their code for the same reason, recognizing that downtown is compact and urban, and that setback prohibits, investments and discourages investment and prohibits certain land uses in downtown, which they want to promote, obviously.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for council? Okay. All right. Once again, a show of hands to go ahead and introduce this legislation.
So introduced by Callahan, Stepp, Lesher, and Haith.
Okay.
This will be known as Bill number 1552, and the public hearing will be on Tuesday, April 9th at 6:30 p.m.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. Appreciate it, Mr. Smith. Thank you. Okay. Okay, next on the agenda, eligible for vote. Madam Secretary, could you go ahead and read the resolution into the record, please?
Resolution number 338, a resolution to amend the Talbot County Comprehensive Water and Sewer Plan for consistency with discharge permit 19 DP 3460 issued by the Maryland Department of the Environment on October 27, 2022, and to require that any future expansion of the new lakeside wastewater treatment plant shall require an amendment to the Comprehensive Water and Sewer Plan.
Okay, so council?
Well, Amendment 1 here with Resolution 338 would accomplish a simple item to give the county the same review opportunity as the discharge permit issued by MDE. In fact, much of this language parallels the discharge permit. Nothing is imposed on the town beyond what the state requires, except to insert the county review at the same juncture as the state review. I've heard from a wide number of constituents on this. Heavily in favor, who have asked us to support this measure.
And I join in with what
Okay.
Councilman Lesher said. I had introduced this originally.
Yes.
And it was prompted by what MDE was directing with respect to the plant. And I too have received much information and support from the public, and would like to go forward with it.
Okay, any other questions? Okay. Any other questions? Yeah?
I do think, even being eligible to vote, I believe without knowing Planning Commission's, thoughts on 347 and 348, which are relative to 338 as well as 338A1, I feel we should delay that vote until after we hear from the Planning Commission on relative legislation. So,
I think the Planning Commission actually would, this would ease the review of 347 and 348 if we acted on 338. I think that we're, in fact, might be much more likely to find a finding of consistency on 347 and 348 should this already be in place.
well, I do know that our Planning Commission, when they spoke to us last time, they already showed a favorable recommendation for it.
Yes.
But I think I still think it's due just transparency to the county before we vote on either one of them. We should know what their opinions are on that. That's my thoughts.
When's Planning Commission planning to vote on 347 and 348? Do we have a date?
I think it's the first week in April, isn't it?
I believe it's the first Wednesday in April.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But the two weren't linked.
Due to some scheduling issues and some members that won't be available for the Planning Commission meeting that we have regularly scheduled on the first Wednesday of the month, which would be April the 3rd. We're actually scheduling to have set the agenda for April the 2nd to take place here in the Bradley Meeting Room at 9 a.m. at our regularly scheduled time, just the day prior to, and they'll be reviewing 347, 348 amendments there too, as well as 353, and the amendments the comprehensive sewer plan amendments that were also introduced tonight.
Okay.
But again, this is a standalone resolution on a specific issue that MDE has brought forth. The other issues have to do with subsequent comments by MDE that they wanted answers to. One was the map and one was the EDUs. So I don't see where they're linked at all.
Well, Planning Commission has already
And has,
given its favorable recommendation.
Yes.
Its finding of consistency for 338 with Amendment 1.
yeah,
That's correct, yes.
Well, I will say this.
Okay. Glad you say something.
I know, because you're looking at me like you want me to say something. But I will say this. Originally, we did say that we were going to wait for 347 and 348 and 338 together. But then we changed on that, which either way, I mean, whatever the majority says, I'm fine with.
Well, a lot of times when we're up here, if a council it wants to wait, I sort of grant that for respect of you want to do more due diligence, you want to hear more information, so you feel better on voting. So
I think it's due to the public just to make sure, being that all of these matters are lakeside related. I believe it just in the in the theme of transparency. I'd like to see their thoughts on both 347 and 348, as well as their associated amendments prior to do that. So with that said, I'd like to make a motion that we delay this vote until after the April 2nd planning meeting. So that would be delay the vote until our first meeting in April would be the motion.
okay.
Well, I have one more question for Mr. Lesher. He alluded to that if 338 passes, then Planning Commission could possibly find a favorable, God bless you, consideration for 347 and 348. Is that coming directly from Planning Commission? Brennan, are you aware of that? And can somebody expound on that a little bit?
Based on their discussions that they had in their previous meeting this month, there was no indication that they preferred one way or the other if the council were to take action or to table action on Resolution 338 at this point in time.
But your comment was that 347 and 340, by voting on 338, that would give way to 347 and 348 being approved. I'm trying to figure out in what way.
how I've come to that
Conclusion, yes.
from my conversations with individuals on the planning commission.
Okay,
They're separate issues.
because what?
They're separate issues. They're separate questions that MDE has asked.
But 347 and 348 has been amended to be tied to 338. So I'm just trying to determine that since 347, 348, and now 352, I believe,
Well,
if I'm,
Patrick, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Keeping
if
up.
338 passes, then 338 doesn't have to be in 347 or 348.
No, it does not.
okay, so then that,
It would moot one of the amendments to 347.
okay, so what was the original intention for amending 347 and 348 to have 338 in there in the beginning?
Because the
I guess it's
the planning commission may not have had the opportunity to hear our opinion on 338 before acting on 347 and 348, and might only give a finding of consistency with that amended language attached to 347.
got it.
This could pave the way for a finding of consistency, because this language is already in the comprehensive water and sewer plan, and therefore wouldn't need that amendment for a finding of consistency.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, go ahead, Dave, you can,
No,
you had a
that was
motion
it.
on the table.
I stand with Mayor, my last comment with the motion on the table.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, got a motion second to go ahead and push 338 to the next meeting. Madam Secretary?
Actually, if I may,
yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
President, I would delay that to our first meeting in April, for the council's first meeting in April,
Okay.
which would be after the planning commission's meeting on
Okay.
April 2nd.
So we pushed 338 to vote,
To April 9th.
to April 9th. Yep.
Yes, correct.
Madam Secretary, could you call the vote?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. Stepp?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Nay.
Ms. Milky?
Nay.
Ms. Hayes?
Aye.
Okay, so if everybody understands, 338 will be voted on April 9th. Okay. All right. My main man, Clay.
Good evening, council. Under county manager report this evening, boards and committee appointments, we have one requesting council's consideration for the reappointment of Ms. Shirley Bucci to the Emergency Services Advisory Board.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion second. Madam Secretary, could you call the vote?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. Stepp?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Ms. Milky?
Aye.
Ms. Hayes?
Aye.
And I'd like to invite Brian Moore, your Superintendent of Roads and Facilities, up. He has two requests for you this evening.
Clay, he's outside sitting down
Yeah,
out there.
He'll be
Yep.
coming up just momentarily.
She
Jessica
did. She
went
went
to get him.
Oh, she did? Okay. All right, no problem.
He's been so excited all day.
He
to be
actually
here
wanted
this
to get,
evening.
he loves coming here.
Look how excited
Yeah,
he is.
he's very excited.
So council, you have Brian Moore in front of you. He has a request for your consideration to award a contract for re-roofing the county office building at 215 Bay Street. He'll brief you on that, and I'll cover anything that he doesn't. Brian?
Sure. So 215 Bay Street is a flat
Hey,
roof
Brian,
building.
could you introduce yourself, please?
I'm sorry, Brian
Yep.
Moore, Talbot County Roads Department Facilities Maintenance.
Good. Thank you.
Superintendent. The 215 Bay Street, it has a flat roof on it. It's the end of its life expectancy. We're getting a lot of tears on it, and we've been patching it. We had it in the budget last year, and it got taken out. It's really in dire of needing to be repaired. So we worked with the contractor that did the work on the courthouse, AKJ, and we solicited several other prices, and he was the best price So I'm looking to recommend the job to him to get the project going.
Okay.
I think we're going to need contingency funds to get the project completed.
Yeah, so this, the award would be for $97,750, and we'd be using contingency funds for the replacement of this roof. A total of 4 bids were obtained. He mentioned the contractor. Our finance director certified the contingency funds are available for this purpose.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Do I have a motion to go ahead and approve the contract?
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion second to approve the contract on the roof. Madam Secretary, could you call the vote?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. Stepp?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Ms. Milky?
Aye.
Ms. Hayes?
Aye.
Okay.
Secondly, Brian is going to be requesting your consideration to award bid number 2305, furnishing and delivery of possible application of CRS 2L emulsified asphalt with polymer. Brian?
Yes, this contract was bid last year. This is basically the liquid asphalt for our paving operation, mainly our tar and chip operation. With the contract was bid with a 3-year, with 2-year extensions. We've reached out to them and they're willing to extend the contract to us. It is really based on a price point, based on the fuel price. So actually it's gone down slightly from last year. So instead of rebidding it, we recommend that we just extend the contract with them.
Okay, great. Okay, any other questions from council?
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion second to go ahead and approve bid 2305. Madam Secretary, could you call the vote?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. Stepp?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Ms. Milky?
Aye.
Ms. Hayes?
Aye.
Okay.
Great job.
Good? All right,
Good-
thank you all.
Good job,
Appreciate your
Brian.
support.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay.
Council, the last item I have is we have a request from the Trapp Volunteer Fire Company Incorporated for a letter of support for their application for Maryland 2025 congressionally directed spending. If approved, funding would be utilized toward the construction of a replacement firehouse for the town of Trapp. The original firehouse was built in 1951. No county funds are being required for this ask.
Okay.
Motion to approve the letter of request.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion second, Madam Secretary, to approve a letter for a replacement for a firehouse. Could you call the vote?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. Stepp?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Ms. Milky?
Aye.
Ms. Hayes?
Aye.
Okay.
And Council, that completes your county manager report for this evening. Thank you for your help.
Okay, good job. All right. Okay, next on the agenda is public comment. You don't have nothing, Brian? Come on. Come on. Not, you're good? Okay, all right. You're probably best staying right there. You know what I mean? Probably best. Okay. All right. Well, want to welcome our new Star Democrat lady here. Yes, yes, yeah. So, what was your name?
Veronica.
Veronica. Okay. Well, welcome, Veronica. We're pleasure to have you here. Okay.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here.
Okay. Good. Good.
Include that.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Okay. So, lastly, is council comments. I'll start down here with Mr. Stepp.
Could I defer to start with Mrs. Hatham?
Let's see. I tried. I tried.
Oh, you did catch me off guard tonight. Comment. Well, I will say this, you know, as a council, I think that this council works very well together, and I certainly respect the protocol that has been instituted in regards to if a council member does want more information, as Mr. Stepp requested to push 338 further down the road, that we respect that as a council. And I think that is a good protocol to have, and to listen to all of the members and respect that if that's what's needed. So this is a good council, and I enjoy working with all of you. So
Good. Good. Ms. Bucky?
I concur it's a good council.
Okay.
All I have.
Okay. All right.
I have nothing tonight.
I'll let Keisha, I'll echo your comments. I do appreciate that. We do that, across this council on a wide array of issues. So I'll echo those statements as far as the appreciation is concerned. We did, as a council, as a majority of a council, had something in planned for this evening. We try to figure a creative way to do this. But in the season of all the times we've been visiting our volunteer fire companies across the county, we've really enjoyed seeing everyone get their awards and just seeing the youth in our county that have really stepped up, and there's the next generation of first responders. It's been really good. But there was one in particular in Easton that caught our attention. There was a member there who had achieved 30 years of service. It turns out it was actually more than that. So I'll without further ado.
37, I think it was.
Yeah, 37 was the number. So if I could assume Chuck's comment here for just a second. Madam Speaker, could you read this certificate of recognition in the roll, please?
Certificate of recognition, Chuck F. Callahan III, in recognition of Chuck F. Callahan III's distinguished service and contributions to the citizens of Talbot County as a member of the Easton Volunteer Fire Department for 37 years, from 1984 to 1999 and 2002 to present, as firefighter and trustee, and since October 31st, 2007, a life member. We hereby bestow upon you, as a token of the esteem and gratitude of Talbot County, the certificate of recognition in commemoration of your contributions to the citizens of Talbot County on this, the 12th day of March, 2024.
Wow.
Signed by your client.
Thank you.
Mr. Vice President, maybe you could ask for a motion? Just out of humility.
I will jump out and offer the motion.
Second?
Okay, there's a motion. Second, Madam Secretary, could you call the vote?
Mr. Callahan?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Stepp?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Ms. Milky?
Aye.
Ms. Hayes?
Aye.
Well, that was very kind. That was a surprise. That was surprise.
Yes, it was.
Don't you have to come down front?
Yes, he does. He has to do the whole thing.
Council, if you could go and call it. I tell you what, let's all of us come down here. They're coming.
You're in nice shade. You've been to Florida or something? No. Well deserved.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
The good part of it is, wait now, this is on the front page.
That's my editor. And 3. Y'all look great.
That was good.
Well, I guess I gotta close it, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Well, I just sort of, first of all, that was a surprise, and that was very, very thoughtful of you guys, and I really appreciate it. It's the fire department was a big part of my life and still is. That might be something I go back to once I end this career sometime, So it's always nice to fall back on something that you really enjoy, because there's a lot of great people in that organization. So, but I do want to say just a couple things. What you were saying, Keisha and Dave, is we do have a good council. I've been up here for many years and been involved with the voting situation. And as painful as it is sometimes when you want something to be voted on, okay, and one of us really, truly, need more information or whatever reason it is, it's refreshing to know that everybody's behind you and you move on to the next week. I know we've been pushing it. I know you're a little bit disappointed in it, but when the tables are turned, sometimes you'll need this. You'll need this sometime. And it feels good that we all at least respect each other and sort of move on, and it will happen.
I'm not
okay?
disappointed. It's
Yeah.
the citizens of Talbot County that
Well,
may be.
yeah, they can. It'll be in a few weeks, and we'll get it done. Okay. So, but once again, I appreciate everything, guys, and I appreciate you guys doing this for me too. So, Madam Secretary?
Oh,
Yeah, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm all
County
I'm all
Council's-
flustered up here tonight.
The County Council's next meeting will be held on Tuesday, March 26th, beginning at 6 o'clock p.m. The council will be convening an open session at 3 o'clock p.m. For work sessions, and at 4 o'clock p.m. for fiscal year 25 budget deliberations, and then adjourning into closed session as listed on the statement for closing that meeting. Additionally, the council will be meeting for fiscal year 25 budget deliberations on the following dates: Thursday, March 14th at 4:30 p.m., Tuesday, March 19th at 5 o'clock p.m., and Thursday, March 21st at 4:30 p.m. The council will also be convening on Tuesday, March 19th at 4 o'clock p.m. for work sessions. The first work session on draft legislation concerning cannabis regulations, and the second work session on a proposal for oyster nutrient trading credits. All meetings will be held in the Bradley Meeting Room and are open to the public. Therefore, is there a motion to adjourn this meeting and reconvene as noted?
So moved.
Okay, we got a motion second. Good. Madam Secretary, could you call the vote?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. Stepp?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Ms. Milky? Aye. Ms. Hayes?
Sorry. Aye.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks a lot, guys, for coming. Appreciate it.